Hello friends, welcome to this video. In this video we are going to do a detailed preview of all 4 iPad series which are available in the current market. So by the end of this video I'm sure it will be much easier for you to arrive at a decision as to which iPad best suits your needs and which one you would like to purchase. We have divided this video in 3 parts which will play sequentially one after another. So let's quickly start. So friends, today we are going to do a detailed specs comparison of all these 4 iPad models which are available right now in the market, starting from the least expensive on the left to the most expensive one on the right. Just for your awareness, we have also listed all the previous iPad models under each of these iPad series. This is the original iPad, also referred to as the iPad or iPad 10.2 or 10 7th Gen. The next is Mini, then Air, and the last one is the iPad Pro. iPad Pro is the most recent one here, which was just launched in the month of March 2020. The other 3 models were all launched last year in 2019. Among them, iPad 10.2 inch was launched the last in the month of September. However, there are certain drawbacks with this particular model, although not major in nature, but we will surely cover all of them in the next part of this video. With respect to price, the most economical or cheapest model will be the iPad 10.2 series, which starts from $329. However, at present, as of May 2020, there are certain discounts running in few stores and websites due to which this price comes down drastically. This could be partly due to the Memorial Days offers in US. However, there could be other reasons as well. We will surely cover those details as well in the next part of this video. Hence, I would request do not skip the video. Except for iPad Pro, all other models have only 2 internal memory variations. As you all might know, internal memory is one of the most important factor which you should consider in your purchase decision, which I think few of us might ignore. Personally, I would recommend going above 32 GB from long-term perspective because 32 GB tend to fill up fast, especially when you try to utilize your iPad more. There are few cases where even 32 GB is more than sufficient if you only intend to use for a dedicated purpose, such as streaming videos, movies, browsing websites, news, reading ebooks, taking notes, or playing limited number of games, or you simply want to use it for maps, navigation. So these are few examples which I thought of sharing. So in such cases, 32 GB is also sufficient. So overall, you might have to limit yourself at some point. However, if you don't want to put any such restrictions, and also since you have already decided to invest a decent amount in the product, so it might make more sense to stretch the budget a little more to accommodate a higher memory variant from a long-term usage perspective. These are the list of available colors in each of these series. With respect to screen size, iPad mini has the smallest screen and iPad Pro has the larger screens. So there are 2 screen sizes here, and iPad 7th Gen and iPad Air has similar screen sizes. The display technology in all of these models is same except for the Pro models, that is Retina display. Retina display is basically a screen with such a high resolution that everything on the screen looks very crisp and clear, so effectively everything looks more natural. However, Pro models has liquid retina displays which has much higher level of pixels per inch to create a paper-like screen effect where pixels are not visible to the naked eye and even the colors are more accurate. All these models except for iPad 10.2 have laminated displays. As you might know, non-laminated displays will have a small space between the iPad surface and the actual LCD screen beneath it, which you can notice especially when you are doing some artistic works and when you place the pencil tip on the iPad screen. There will be a small space between your pencil tip and the LCD screen. In this picture, which is the left corner of iPad screen, you will see a thin black line, which is what we are talking about. However, this should not create a major bad experience. On the other hand, although laminated displays will give you a very good user experience, but it will cost you more for repairs later, just in case the display gets damaged or broken accidentally. To summarize, laminated displays might matter most for some professional works or serious artistic works. Otherwise, you can still use non-laminated displays happily. Screen resolution is the lowest in iPad mini and highest in the Pro. If you might have noticed, the dimensions for iPad 10.2 and iPad Air are same except for the depth, which is less in Air, hence Air will be more thin. Even with respect to weight, Air is lighter than iPad 10.2 by approx 30 grams. From all the models, Pro is the heaviest and Mini is the lightest, obviously. All these models support the same iPad OS, and the processor in Pro and other models are more powerful if compared with iPad 10.2. RAM is highest in Pro model. With respect to connectivity, USB-C is only provided in Air and Pro models. If you might know, USB-C can transfer data at much higher speeds and is the next global standard, hence better than Lightning port. With respect to Bluetooth, for except for iPad 10.2, all others are equipped with the Bluetooth 5.0. If you might know, Bluetooth 5.0 can transfer data at much higher speeds and also has longer range compared to the 4.2. Further, it also consumes less power, hence more battery life. If you remember, in the previous part of the video I mentioned about the drawbacks or limitations in iPad 10.2 model. So to summarize them, the first one is the non-laminated display, which is there in iPad 10.2. Then the weight is more as compared with Air. Even this iPad 10.2 is thicker if we compare it with the Air. The processor is slower if compared with other models, and Bluetooth is as well a little lower version. So this could be one of the reasons as to why it is more economically priced as compared with other models. With respect to pencil support, all these models support the Apple Pencil. However, only Pro series support the latest Apple Pencil 2, which has the ability to magnetically attach to the iPad sides and charge and pair wirelessly. However, both Pencil 1 and 2 have the tilt and pressure sensitivity, and also they support the palm rejection. So almost same features in both the pencils. So all these models also support the smart keyboard except for the iPad mini. Again, you can still opt for a Bluetooth keyboard instead. Smart keyboards are basically the one which attaches to iPad magnetically. So in this image there are three dots which are circled, so those are nothing but the smart connector. So smart keyboard effectively doesn't need any switches, plugs and pairing. iPad Pro also supports the Magic Keyboard, which has a trackpad additionally on the keyboard. With respect to front camera, it's the lowest in iPad 10.2 and highest in Pro model. The resolution of rear camera is highest in Pro, and additionally it can record videos in 4K. Battery backup is same for all the models. In case you are opting for a cellular variant, then the battery life will reduce by 1 hour. With respect to security feature, all models have the Touch ID fingerprint sensors except for the Pro model, which instead has the face recognition. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel, it will motivate me, and also please give your comments and suggestions if you want more such videos or on any other topic. So friends, this chart lists the pricing of the iPad model across few locations which are quite popular for shopping electronic devices. Please note that I have only listed the iPad 7th Gen pricing here. However, please do let me know in the comments in case you would like to see the pricing for the other series as well, so that I can plan to include that. On the official Apple website, the 32 GB variant starts from $329 and the 128 GB variant starts from $429, and if you spend $130 more, then you will get the cellular variant instead. Again, cellular variant will be especially for those who travel a lot and think they might be using their iPad at those locations where Wi-Fi connectivity is not available and you want to be always connected. One example could be GPS navigation while traveling. However, you can also download offline maps. So effectively opting for a cellular variant might mean additional cellular charges on a monthly basis. If you might have noticed, some prices are marked in green and some are in bold green, so which indicates the best bargain price. So as you see at Costco and Best Buy, you will get the 32 GB for $249, and if you spend $80 more, you will get the 128 GB variant instead. I didn't find anything much cheaper than this. In case you are planning to buy this model, then I would suggest you do it at the earliest, because these prices do fluctuate, and the prices, I mean the product also goes out of stock, and even at Costco it lists that these prices are available until June 14. Additionally, when you buy a product, you also decide if you want to buy a protection plan, which I think few of us might ignore, but it's equally important to have a peace of mind. Basically, we don't have to worry when the iPad is accidentally damaged by our kids, and even if it can happen with the adults as well. The protection plans at Costco, Sam's, Walmart are worth giving an additional thought. Please also note that, as per my understanding, these plans can only be bought from the same store where you bought the iPad. Additionally, the terms and conditions might vary, and please do read before opting. For instance, few protection plans have some deductible for every incident you report. So you should keep that as well in mind. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel. It will motivate me, and also please give your comments and suggestions if you want more such videos or on any other topic. So this is the last part of this video review, wherein we are going to summarize the key decision making factors. So let's quickly start. So if you want something for general use in fixed budget, capable of doing most of the routine things, and on top of that you also want a big screen, then iPad 10.2 should be the option. But if you are preferring the device should be compact and portable, then the only option is iPad mini. If you can stretch your budget and you are looking for bigger screen but with higher memory and with higher processing power, then iPad Air is recommended. However, if your budget is not much of a concern and you look for a mid-size or a large sized display which can work both as a tablet and as a dedicated desktop laptop, then the iPad Pro is the option. Additionally, weight of Pro will be higher as compared with all other models. So please note, these are my personal recommendations and it might vary for your specific case. I'm hoping all this information which I have shared with you are useful to you and you will soon buy the best iPad which fulfills your requirements. Thanks for watching. So friends, please do like, share and subscribe to this channel. It will really help motivate me to bring more such useful content. Also please give your comments and suggestions if you want a similar video on any other topic. Thanks.